Hey everybody, how's it going? Full Metal Fab coming at ya. It's a fairly decent day out today. About minus 13 for everybody down south of the border. That's about 4 degrees, I think. It's a little colder than I like, but I thought, hey, I'm doing pretty good on the video thing. 3 weeks, 3 videos. Seems a little consistent. So, what am I up to today? Well, a little bit colder than I'd like, and I don't really want to be out here any longer than I have to, so I thought, hey, let's just shoot a little update video. Whole bunch of new toys around here, so might as well tell you guys about it. That, and I really don't want to be outside. Well, might as well start out in front of the shed. As you guys know, I pulled Mudbug out of the snow. It's going to get a complete rebuild. Frame's got a hell of a lot more flex than I'd like, and I've been meaning to take care of that for probably the last year or so, but since the thing's already in pieces, I might as well blow the thing the rest of the way apart and reinforce the frame. I'm kind of with Doc when it comes to the steering on these things. It kind of sucks, but not 100% sure what I want to do with the thing. Like, aside from breaking the one tie rod end off, I don't really have too much to complain about it. Now, the whole front end on the thing, after going into that water hole, was all bent up and tweaked back. I had some nasty positive caster afterwards, because as you can see down in there, that one little plate was all buckled and my whole front axle was bent back. From its usual spot, bent back a little bit, a little exaggerated, but yeah, it made maneuvering around a little bit more difficult than I'd like. Well, any of you guys into the Cub Cadet stuff, I scored myself another Snowblower Attachment. This is another QA42A, and the plans for this are to actually make it a rear-mounted snowblower for one of my other Cub Cadets, which I have other pieces that I'm going to show you that will go along with this thing, and some people should find this pretty cool. As for in the shed, if everything isn't frozen, 1250's in here, slowly going back together. Its motor, all nice and pretty looking. Still yet to fire the thing up, so I'm probably going to have to pull a plug or something out of the thing, throw some oil down her. In here needs a whole shite ton of reorganizing, but yeah. Winter. Motivation goes out the window. Probably didn't mention this in the other clip, but there's Mudbug's new hood. And I can thank Long Gone for this. On our way back after Jeremy's romp at his place, he said he had another one of these Solstice looking hoods, and I'm like, well, if it's less banged up than mine, I'll definitely take it. Project Sears 4x4 hasn't really moved. I reassembled the frame partly, put an axle under it, and made it so I can roll it around. I did say before that I was going to enter this thing in the All-Terrain Lawn Tractor Forum if I'm doing the 4x4 thing. I'm probably not going to get around to that this year, so I'm pretty sure this isn't going to end up being a build-off entry. Like, my main focus is just putting the thing back together and getting the front-end loader built for it, because I do have other plans that I need the front-end loader for. Other machines. Got my racing mower back there, which is still my profile pick. It's going to be getting rebuilt and back on the racetrack this summer. It's been in pieces for the better part of 3 or 4 years, so it'd be nice to have that back together. Now, I acquired another Murray and a Husqvarna in end of summer, fall. This is my payment for fixing the motor in that John Deere 212. And the one motor does run, one motor's a little locked up. It does roll over. I don't know if there's internal damage, but One's hydro, one's gear. The Husqvarna is going to be the focus of a little video series that I want to do. Basically, I'm going to take a lawn tractor and see how much work it can actually do. My thought process is, let's see how much garden tractor work a lawn tractor can do. And what would you have to do to beat the thing up? So this is going to get a custom built sleeve hitch for the back end and a whole bunch of other things. I'll probably splurge and put some eggs on the back end, but for the most part, being a hydro, this machine's just going to stay stock. The 12 horse is going to get running, have it going, and at the end of the whole project series, I'm just going to list the thing up for sale with all the attachments. It's basically a let's see what it can do. When I'm done with it, then flip it. And after the whole fiasco with Mudbug out at Jeremy's, and I'll probably bug Doc, see if I can scab in a video clip of me doing a backflip. I'm no longer going to use Mudbug as my stock mod racer, which anybody that knew, Mudbug was set up so I just had to switch out the tires, remove the rear rack, and then go to the track. Now, that ended up being a lot more inconvenient than one would think. Limiting the amount of machines I had and having it so one did multiple tasks, it just it ended up it ended up limiting what the machine's capabilities actually were. Like, I couldn't modify the thing anything past a stock machine, so anything off-road was kind of because of the rules. I was limited to engine size, so Mudbug always had that stupid little 11 horse, which I hated. Mind you, I had never killed that thing out in the soupy stuff. There was the odd time I'd stall it out, but that was more or less I didn't realize I was in the wrong gear, and racing, gearing, and trails don't mix. So the little Craftsman LT8 back there is going to be my next stock mod. The old Craftsman up there on the bench is my modified, and it's going to be getting a 17.5 31-inch cubic 17.5 horse 31 cubic inch pressure lubed Briggs & Stratton overhead valve engine, which is the biggest you can run in that class. And then, oh yeah, the white over there, I don't know if you can really see it too well. That machine right there is supposed to be my super mod, which it will eventually have an 18 horse Vanguard if I ever get my hands on one. So yeah. Now also, in other recent acquisitions over the late summer, I picked myself up a Baja Bug. This would be a MB200 Minibike. Now, I used to have a little two-stroke 49cc machine, and the thing was set up like a little chopper. I didn't really care too much for it, so listed it saying that I wanted to trade for what I was originally interested in was like one of the little taco mini bikes, and I wanted to turn it into a trail bike as a backup for one of my other machines that I have planned for the future. And everybody knows that Massey Ferguson 10 that Doc acquired for Gary. I originally acquired it because all I wanted was the snowplow off of it. Now, why did I just want the snowplow? Massey Ferguson 10. And under this pile of junk is a Cub Cadet 1440. Now, this is going to be one of two for a four-wheel drive articulating tractor that I want to build. This is going to be a long-term back burner project because I need to find either another 1440 or a 1641, plus a motor, plus other stuff. Yay. Now, into the corral. As you can see, she's a little packed in here. But let's start from the front. Left to right, shall we? This is my other Sears ST12. I remember running the numbers a while ago. I think it came up as a 74. And again, I can thank Long Gone for the snowblower attachment that's on the front of this thing. I gotta make up a couple parts. The adjusters for the front for belt tension are missing. Yeah, we looked, we couldn't find. Oh well. All they are is literally just a too cold, can't talk. All they are is just a threaded rod with a coupler at the end of it. So easy peasy, I'll make them up. In the middle, we have the 1000 with its QA42A snowblower, which is currently down for repair because I had a needle bearing blow up on me while clearing the driveway, and it damaged the little adjuster thing. So I got the adjuster bracket back, had it welded up, and then I'm waiting for a new shaft to be made up. The GT6000, awaiting a heart transplant. In a midsummer horse trade, I traded a GTV 18 with snowblower and mower deck and the engine out of my GT6000 to my buddy Dane or Morgan. And in exchange, I got, we go back here, this Cub Cadet 124 garden tractor. Yeah. Main reason I was after this thing, it had the gearbox on the back of it so I could use my rototiller. Also, well, I seem to have a bit of a hard-on for Cub Cadets now, so this is going to be turned into a row crop tractor. Most likely late winter, early spring, whenever I can get it into my shop and start working on it. It's going to have the whole trike front end, and it's going to be my main garden working machine. It'll look pretty cool when it's done. Ahead of it, under yet another pile of stuff, because I'm limited on space, is a 1961 Cub Cadet Original. Now, I acquired 2 mower decks for it. One I had to drive 4 hours the other direction, but I have the 32 or 34 inch time deck for it. And I also have, if I know where it is, and no I don't, I have the 36 inch untimed deck, the later one that would have been available on the 70 and the 100. It's a cool little machine. All I had to do was put the motor in it, and I had it fired up, and I was driving it around. I need a grill. I'm not too fond of that, because everybody wants an arm and a leg for them online, but this thing's just going to get just a basic restoration. Clean it up, make it look pretty, tighten up everything. It's not going to be a show tractor, because none of my stuff is show tractors. They get used. So, yeah. Well, I guess since we got that side done, and I wasn't going to do everything from left to right, we'll just go down this row. Well, under that pile is a Cub Cadet #1 trailer. Why do I have that? Because it matches that. I had to drive a ways, and it cost me a fair bit, but whoever fixed the thing up and repainted it, did a pretty decent job on the thing. Like, everything's tight. Tires look like they're the original ones, but I'm happy, and it's cool. In front of that is my Troy Belt Horse rototiller. Now, my uncle's had this thing sitting at his place for as long as I can remember, and when he was cleaning up, he was going to get rid of the thing, and I asked him, I'm like, well, can I have it? And he's like, yeah, hell, I'd prefer giving it to you than scrapping it. I have the original motor for it. The motor that I had on this is currently on my dad's wood splitter, because, well, somebody forgot to check the oil and it seized up. Not me. But the motor for it is an old, it's an HH70? Oh, it's an old Tecumseh 6-horse. And it's going to be getting rebuilt, put back on this. I need to pull this apart and replace a couple bearings in it because the back end was making a clicking noise last time I was using it. But if anything, this does 10 times better job rototilling my mom's garden than the little Troy-built Bronco thing that they have. And moving on, ahead of this, we have a 1950 something, 60 something, I can't remember. I do remember looking it up, but it's a co-op Blackhawk. And I acquired the plow and cultivator attachment with it. I got this thing for a song. I seen the plow and I seen the cultivator on the guy's trailer when I drove by his house. And I pulled over and I asked him, I'm like, hey, how much do you want for the plow and the cultivator, and do you have any other attachments for it? And they said, well, we got this rototiller thing in the back. It looks like it goes with it. And I'm like, well, can I go look at it? Seen the thing, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Walk over, everything was moving. Motor wasn't locked up. I asked them, well, what do you want for it? And they said, hey, give us $90. Get it home. Shot a little bit of gas down the carburetor. She coughed and sputtered a bit, but I think the top end needs a little bit of work. But, yeah. This is my, unfortunately, only walk-behind tractor I have at the moment. But this thing, again, same as the Cub, it's going to get a basic restoration, cleaned up, get put back to work. Yeah. Next to that is a John Deere 212. Now, I got this from my local small engine shop. This was in a package deal with the Cub Cadet 1440. Now, honestly, I only have this because I wanted a John Deere. I went to his place, looking around. Now, actually, I found this the same day that I found the Murray Fugazi that Doc has. So, I wasn't able to pull this thing out the same day, but I managed to bring it and the 1440 home at the same time, and I only paid $100 for both of them. And this I was able to fire up and get running. And I can thank my buddy Matt Weatherall, Weatherview Maple Farms, I think. I can't remember. I'll post up the title. It was missing a rear tire. He had one and just gave it to me. Thing ended up being loaded with calcium, which is kind of awesome, because actually, if I was to run and plow this thing, the left tire's already got weight in it, which is perfect. Next is a Massey Ferguson 12. Now, I acquired this with a snowblower, in which this is its snowblower. Nothing wrong with the machine except for the one drive gear down in here is stripped out. So it'll run as soon as there's a load on it, then everything stops. Now, some of you guys are going to say, well, there's no motor in it. Yeah, well, the motor's in my shop. I got the thing home, fired it up, drove it around, and all I could hear coming from the engine was knock, 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 knock. Pulled the thing apart, come to find out that the end play for the crank was excessive, and the connecting rod had excessive play, or excessive clearance. So it's currently sitting in my shop, and it's going to be the next motor to get rebuilt. But it's going to stay out here because it's cold. And honestly, I think I got a little screwed over on this thing, because I traded 3 machines just to get this. But this thing's in really nice shape, and honestly, I'd probably do the deal again. Only thing that really bugs me is I traded the Gravely for this thing, and in the end I probably could have fixed the Gravely and got it running. Now, next is its little brother. Massey Ferguson 10. Now this, I got from the same person as I did this. This, honestly, I think the guy felt bad for me the first time around because I got a better deal on it. Now, again, missing motor. Honestly, I just wanted it because, well, who doesn't want to have two of the same machine? Just lower horsepower. Now, plans for the 12 are just to rebuild, get working, and I'd like to find a tiller for it and maybe a mower deck. I'm not too concerned with the mower deck. I'd like the rototiller though, because I mean then I can use this thing in the summertime for garden work, yada yada. The 10, plans for it are to at least find a sleeve hitch for the back end of this thing and get my hands on one of those 10 horse diesel motors to put in it, because I want to have a diesel machine. Wink wink, nudge nudge. And honestly, one of those little 10 horse Yanmar clones or Yanmar engines would be perfect. And then I can just go over to my buddy's place, grab his letter stamp D, go to the tag, and punch a D on that thing. And yeah, just like everything else, light restore. The thing's currently got my old 5x12s on the back end, but it's going to get a set of 6x12s, repaint the rims. It's going to have the skinny tires, whereas the 12's going to have the wide tires. So, nice little matching pair. Oh, and for anyone else that's seen this up here, it's a... I'm not 100% sure as to the make of the go-kart, but a buddy of mine, we put a new motor on the thing, got the thing all set up, and had a little bit of fun with it over, I don't know, the summer 2 years ago. Yeah. I eventually purchased it off of him, plus another homemade go-kart. Intentions with this thing are basically just to fix the thing up and have it as a play toy. It's going to be getting a solid rear axle swap, because the whole, the whole one-wheel peel thing, that and the paddle brakes, not exactly too fond of that with a built-up 6-horse Honda clone on there. Oh, and as I try not to trip over stuff, people are probably going to say, hey, that's one funny-looking Predator. Well, it's not a Predator, it's a Power Fist. I live in Canada. We get Power Fist. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on a Predator. But, things for later. I probably failed to mention this while I was going by it, but I've had this little plow ever since I first acquired the old ST12 that I'm turning into the Sears 4x4. It was pretty much the only attachment I had for the thing besides the mower deck, and of course I got the 3-point that went with it. Now, yeah, I was a dumbass back in high school and I tossed the lift links by mistake and tried making up my own, so I'm looking for a new set of lift links for it. But this 3-point setup and all that will be going on to this Sears ST12, which I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but I got it from a friend of mine. But for the most part, this is going to stay as a stock machine. Now, for those of you still pondering the rear-mounted snowblower thing, it will be going on a Cub Cadet. And what I have down here is a 3-speed Cub Cadet transmission with the optional rear PTO. Now, since these transmissions were originally designed for the Farmall Cub, they obviously had a PTO, power takeoff, on the back end of the transmission. It's a gear-driven PTO that's only functioning when the clutch is engaged. So anytime you depress the clutch, the PTO would stop. It's not like a live PTO on a lot of the newer tractors, which would bypass the entire transmission altogether and have its own engagement lever. Now, this transmission is going in the 124, my row crop, and I have plans to build other attachments that'll utilize the PTO, but for now The snowblower is going to be really the only thing I'll be working on. Yeah. On the same trip, I finally acquired a Brinley 10-inch plow, and in the time I got this thing, cleaned it up. Now I'll see if I can't post a picture of how this thing was when I got it, because the guy I got it from had the thing modified to a Cat 0 3-point. Nothing I have has got Category 0 3-point on it yet. The Sears 4x4 is going to have it, and the Cub Cadet 1440 articulating tractor is going to have a Cat 0 on the back end of it when I'm done. My 1250 might have Cat 0, but that's still kind of up in the air. I'm kind of thinking anything 12 horse under can just stick to sleeve hitch. Anything above we'll consider Cat 0. But yeah, and under there you can kind of see it. It's the rototiller I mentioned before. I actually acquired 3 of these things. Can't remember if I said anything in a previous video. Probably is in an older update, but yeah, rototilled the garden with that thing a few times, and I bloody love it. Tractor mounted rototiller is awesome. And of course, having a plow and a set of discs that you can use in the garden just make life so much easier. Oh yeah, then we got the shelf of goodies. Oh, look at that. Other things on the to-do list for this summer and spring, well, probably this spring, would be to finish cleaning up the trailhead that I want to build. Now, entrance is probably going to be somewhere down around here. And then we go down following the, oh, come on, quit zooming on my face. Yeah. Then we go down following the creek. Probably have another little auxiliary entrance over there, if my camera will focus where I want it. And over yonder, back here, is the property line. There'll be another entrance right here. And we go up into the woods. There's all creek down through here. And some really gnarly stuff right in the middle. Is like a good, there's a nice big hole that's about 30 feet across, 50 feet long. That's just nothing but mud. And then of course there's a nice hill, and right, somewhere around here, that it's pretty much a majority of it is just a 45-degree face that goes up about 20 feet. And then that will head out towards where my stockpile is. Now let's head there. While I'm passing through here, over here there is a bit of a ledge, and the creek is usually about 2 feet below what this is, but that's where I'm gonna have my trommel and all that other stuff set up just to play with. I was thinking it's like about an hour or so northeast of here is the old El Dorado mines, and I do plan at some time to go there and pan, see if I can't find anything, and maybe work something out that I could come up for like a weekend, set up my equipment, play with it, yada yada. But over there in the woods is a nice little mud hole to go play in too, and I'll be clearing it out so we can actually get to it. And then, well, I don't have to clear too much because we did clean up the majority of this fence row over here, so it's pretty easy to get to. And I'm also pondering having the trailhead come up through here, because my original plan was to have the main trailhead up the other side of that knoll. The only problem is my parents have a beekeeper keeping about 20 to 30 hives over there right now, so honestly, I'd like to keep my machines away from that. Like, over here is about as close as I want to get to them, because getting stung by a bee sucks. So, as we nail near my one trailhead, you can see there is a fair bit of woods to play with. as we come in, you can see my little hidey-ho for the overflow mowers. There's a few of these actually I have plans for. Majority of them, not really. Only problem is property line is right there. Little fence. Let's see. There. Fence. Right there. So fair bit of woods to play with. My trails could kind of go this way, off that direction, and that little cliff face is somewhere over there. Over here, it's not that bad. A bit of an easier incline, but the trail's gonna go right up that way. That's gonna be the fun part. So, we'll walk all the way out here. So, these machines really have no plans. This is another GTV 18 that I had. This only thing I'm using is the body and frame. Transmission got traded off. Motor never came with one. Okay, I heard stuff, so I'm getting out of here. The Ford is going to be Project 6x6. And yeah, it's going to be getting an 18 horse and a whole bunch of other goodies. Yeah, so the Ford, which I took a quick zip of, is going to be Project 6x6. Now, it's going to be getting Mule's old butt on the back end of it. And transmission setup in it's going to be not the norm. Hint, hint. I'm going to be taking a page out of Neil's book on this one. It's not going to be 100% the same way he did it. There's a few things I'm going to be playing with. But, yeah, it's going to have one transmission driving too for the axles. But, yeah, I don't want to spoil too much of that. So, I'll just be leaving it at that. Now, mind you, I am going to have to hack up Mule's butt for one feature that I'd like my machine to have. As Doc puts it, this is going to be kind of a mule territory worth of machine. It's going to be code name MRV, Mower Recovery Vehicle. Now, my intentions are to make this thing capable enough to haul one of these heavy arse garden tractors out. Doing that with a lawn tractor, especially one that utilizes 3/4 inch shafts for a majority of what it uses, is going to be fun. I have some reinforcing I need to do on some things, but the 6x6 is going to be my build-off entry. Power plant will be an oppie for now. I got an old Briggs 18 horse that I had a whole bunch of stuff done to it. I don't really want to use it for this project, but it's the only twin cylinder I have available. And, well, the main reason I don't want to is because I removed the governor and had the motor all set up for racing, so it'll scream, but you know, it'd just be nice to have a governor for a machine that's just going to be sitting there and putting away. Well, that kind of concludes the updates for January 2018. So, yeah, I got quite the pile of junk to play with at the moment. So, like always, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.